I don't know what it is. I think there's like this some sort of campaign that, again, with angry women and hurt, traumatized men who grew up in single parent households, single mom households. They feel that Kevin Samuels is not really there for black women when he actually is, and he thinks that he's bashing black women, and he thinks black women. A lot of these men stepping up to be these white knights for black women are not understand. Do they even watch the show? Do they even watch the fact that how these women come to his show, act crazy, make these illogical demands with some of them? I don't agree with everything he says, but when he's telling the truth, he's telling the truth. And especially when it comes to single moms, and a lot of these women cry to other men about it, and these men don't. They just come up there and put on their cape and just open their shirts like Superman, and they're not really asking questions. I don't think they are, and they just go off the rip, just trying to defend these women, like Boyce Watkins. And Boyce Watkins is extremely traumatized because he grew up without his biological dad. And this guy here, it seems like the same way. But let's get in. I just feel that I think I'm going to do another podcast on disposable superheroes. That's what I'm going to do. All right, let's get into this. Hard Talk Radio.
What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for joining me again. Today's video is about single mothers, and I want to jump right into it. So recently, Kevin Samuels, and amongst some other men, but mainly Kevin Samuels, has had a lot to say about single mothers, and a lot of it has been very negative. I've spoken to some women personally who have actually been affected by this, and it really gave me the inspiration to make this video. You see, I'm someone who comes from a
negatively, or the fact of the matter is these women got their egos bruised because they went on there. Like I said, he doesn't go looking for them. They go looking for him. He gives them the advice needed, and they short circuit, go haywire, because he's not going to let them run his show, and he puts them in their place, and now they want to cry to the world because a man refused to bow down to their ways. Call him gay. All right. And look, and I'll say it again. The only reason why they call him gay because he's not a gay black man on their side. He's not on their team. He's telling the truth, and they're mad about that.
Single mother. Over the weekend, my mother had food poisoning, and I spent a good deal of time taking care of her, and it really got me to thinking how special single mothers are. Are there some bad parents out there, women and men? Yes. But there are a lot of great single mothers out there. And you have people like Kevin Samuels who have made it their mission to tear these women down and pretty much tell them, you don't deserve.
Okay, maybe these great single mothers should date great single fathers. What about that? What is so hard to understand that these women should date single fathers? It's a win-win for the child. The child gets extra siblings. The mother gets a good man that could be her husband. And also she gets a stepfather for her kids. What is so hard to understand about that? You know what I think this really is about? Resources. That's what I think it's about. It's about resources. The fact that Kevin Samuels and many men like him, I've been saying this for years but when Kevin Samuels came onto the scene, now these women feel that he's stopping the plug. That's what it is. He's stopping the plug. You're messing up our operation, man. This has been working. Our gravy train has been working for years. And this guy comes up here. I really, it get to a point you're thinking this is some sort of cabal. Like they had like in the cartoons, the Legion of Doom, Justice League. They all sit together. What do we do about Kevin Samuels? That's right. He's getting too powerful. He's cutting off the supply of men, the simps. He's waking up. We need these supply of men. My kids' Christmas needs to be paid for. I'm sorry. It just feels that way.
because you had kids. When truth be told, a lot of these high value, quality men, whatever you want to call them, and ladies, I can include myself into this. You guys know I love to be transparent, so I'm going to get to my own personal story. But first, let me say this. A lot of men who have a lot of stuff to say about single mothers, in the first place, couldn't even help that single mother. What do I mean? I have many female friends who are single mothers who buy their children nice clothing, take their children on vacations, make sure their children are doing well in school, have college plans ready for their children and money put to the side. You have a lot of men who want to date these women, but they know good and well that if this woman came to you and said, hey, could you pay for this basketball camp? You wouldn't have it. So what you do is you go listen to Kevin Samuels and other men in the red pill community, and you say, I'm not dating a single mother. When the truth is, you don't have your life together enough to deal with her. And here's where I'm going to go into my own personal.
Listen, the fact of the matter is, if a man sees that he's not up to par to date a single, well, then he shouldn't date one at all. What is the problem there? Okay. You are an F boy. Okay. You didn't want to be a burden to this woman. Okay. All right. What do you want to say? What do you want? You did a responsible thing. I don't understand these people. I don't, because it's like they want to shame men to make bad decisions. They don't have kids. You want to be locked down to raise another man's family. You may not have the mentality to raise another man's family. You know how many single men end up killing single mothers' kids? Or they end up, it just will be worse for the child. Either way. Why do you want to? Oh, man.
Story. You guys know I'm very open, honest, and transparent about the fact that I spent a good deal of my life being an F boy. There's one particular woman who I dealt with since I was about 22 years old. She didn't have kids when we first met. Over the course of our 20s, she had 3 kids. Now, because I was an F boy, because I didn't always hold the masculine frame, a lot of times this woman wouldn't want to deal with me. I would get my life together a little bit better, and she would come back into my life to give me another opportunity. Finally, I sabotaged the relationship. Why did I sabotage the relationship? Because I knew good and well I could not help her with her 3 kids. Could I have sex with her? Could I provide some sort of income to help with the family unit? Yes. But if I really was called on to step up and be the man that I'm supposed to be, I would have struggled in that. And I knew that. So before I got put in that position, I sabotaged the relationship. Was I right? No, I was dead wrong. But I've learned from my mistake. And I've learned that, Daniel, if you are going to go out and entertain a woman who has kids, please make sure you have your life together, because you could be getting in the way for someone else who may be a single father or another man who has his life together to step in and be the...
Okay, all right. So a single man takes over that job. What is the problem? Why you want to... all right, you move that away for a single father to get in there. A man that responsible has more resources than you, a little bit more older than you, more experience to deal with women who are single parents. What is the problem with that? Leave that situation for single fathers who are, that are responsible. What is the problem here? Then you want to go into your story. He sounds very much like Boyce Watkins, very much like him. Look, caping for women in this situation who can't hear sound advice is not going to help you, bro. These women want men to be disposable superheroes. And what that is like guys that could break glass and sick them on other men who are talking sense in case of emergencies when their feelings are hurt. That's basically what it is. All right. And a lot of you men who do this, you don't understand. These women don't respect you. They don't respect you. That's what you're not getting until it's too late. Okay. I'll give you a case. Tyrone Muhammad, right? He found out a black man was being disrespected at an Asian beauty salon store, hair salon. So He gets a brick, smashes the window, right? He gets arrested. Guess what? The black women are still back, okay, at that store. Another situation, black men started to picket outside an Asian beauty supply store. Asian man put 50% off on all his products. The black women went crazy on the black men picketing at an Asian supply store. All right. You're going to go and cape for these women, and they're still going to go to Kevin Samuels' show asking for advice and getting their feelings hurt, and then want to act irate and try to call more men to try to stone Kevin Samuels.
Man she needs in her life. So ladies, if you are a single mother and you deal with men who leave you alone because dealing with your children is too much for them, more power to them, because they're really not man enough at this point in their life to handle the responsibility of dealing with a single mother. Yes, you do have to step up to the plate more, because you have to worry about this woman's emotions. You have to worry about this child's emotions. You have to worry about this woman's financial health. You have to worry about this child's financial health. You have to worry about this woman's spiritual health. You have to worry about this child's spiritual health, even physical and even mental for both of them. When you're dealing with just a woman who doesn't have kids, it is a lot easier. So it is more required from you when you're dealing with a single mother. But most of the single mothers I know don't really need your help to take care of the kids. What you do is you let your insecurity turn her into a
No, what he doesn't understand is biology and instinct of a man who is with a woman that he cares about. Okay, when you date a woman and she has kids, it's automatically he's gonna want to be there for the kid as well. I don't get it. What don't you understand about this, man? And you're trying to put he's insecure. No, he's not insecure. He understands the risk assessment. Is this worth the risk? Okay, is it worth the risk? All right. A lot of these men, it's not just single mothers who are traumatized, it's men who grew up in single mom homes who are traumatized as well. So this is something that is really an epidemic that really has to be talked about. Men growing up in single mom homes who are traumatized. And when they hear this Kevin Samuels speak, they feel it's an attack on them. It's not an attack on them. Okay? And you want to shame men, and you think you see that, they're suffering. They're not suffering. Okay? These women don't want to accept. Have you even listened to these women talk about their demands of what they want in a husband, demands of what they want in a man to be with them? The demands is like, you fit all this criteria, but I don't have to fit your criteria. It's a relationship is supposed to be a two-way street. These women who call on Kevin Samuels' show want a one-way street. And when the bubble is burst, they flip out and then they want to cry to people like you who they think are suckers. They're going to go over there and try to shame Kevin Samuels and men who do not want to date women with kids, who don't have kids themselves.
A horrible, irresponsible person because she had children out of wedlock. Who helped her create those kids out of wedlock? Not you, but some other man. I know men who have children.
Okay, and this is the other situation too. You don't know if that man's still in the background in that kid's life. She may have that man on standby. You're dating her, she still gets banged by that dude. And hate to say that, a woman will probably say, well, I'm waiting until, we'll use this line, I'm waiting until I get to know you before I make that bad decision. And she may be a crafty woman and maybe still banging the other dude on the side, the child's father on the side. You may be playing games. These are all the things that is not talked about when dating a single mother, the risks of dating a single mother if you're a man with no kids. Okay? Especially a young man with your whole future ahead of you. This is something that is not talked about. Why do you want to go so hard for protecting single mothers, but you're not willing to talk about the other side of this equation? Why? Because if you dare to do that, the women will come after you now, and they will show their true colors.
Who don't as children. It does not make sense to me. Now, I want to switch lanes here a little bit, and I specifically want to encourage women who have children right now. What you're looking at is the product of a single mother. When I was born, really before I was born, my mother already had dreams for me. When my mother was pregnant, she only worked at the equivalent of a Target or a Walmart. She worked at a store called Woody's, which is not around anymore, and she used to have to ride the bus. My mother used to ride past St. John's College High School in Washington, D.C., and she daydreamed about being able to put her son in this school. My mother used to watch A Different World. I used to watch it with her when I was a little boy. She used to watch School Days. I watched it as well, and she dreamed of her son going to Morehouse. This was before I had any hopes and dreams for my own life, before I was old enough. But this was my mother's dream, and she worked towards that dream. My mom wanted to be a fashion designer, but when she had a kid, it was the 80s, computers were starting to take off. She decided, well, let me go ahead into this computer world, this new world. It looks like that's going to be a good industry. And she was able to get a great job. Keep in mind, my mom did not graduate from college, and she retired making $100,000 a year. Ladies, you do not have to go to college to do the best job you can do raising your kids. I'm a product of it. My mother didn't graduate college until she was about 62 years old. If you go to my Facebook, Instagram page, you will see a picture of my mother graduating from college about 5 years after I graduated from college. But here's the thing. She had a dream of her son going to St. John's College High School. And wouldn't you have it, her son grew to be 6'4" and athletic, which allowed him to get an athletic scholarship to go to St. John's. What I'm trying to tell you is the dreams you have for your children are real. God gave them to you, and they can come to pass if you believe and if you keep pushing forward, and I know you are. I know that's why you're watching this. The second part, Morehouse College. Eventually, I went to Morehouse College. I did have a stumbling period, but I graduated in 2012. My mother put blood, sweat, and tears into my childhood. And a lot of times she chose not to date. It's not that men weren't trying to gain her attention, but she thought it was more important to put time and effort into her son. Now she has a son who's a college graduate who can go get a job in various fields, had a career in case management. I could go into teaching. I write well enough to write my own scripts. I've written some. You know why this is? Because my mother put time in with me. Because I can still remember being a little boy and my mother sitting up.
Okay, here's what he's not getting. Time, okay? A single man with no kids has to understand that his time with her is going to be kind of limited because that child comes first, and it should be. But he doesn't understand that. All right, when you have children, it's like being a farmer. You're planting seeds in the ground, and you have to till the ground. You cannot just go and till it one day and that's it and come back whenever you want. No, you have to till the ground every day. Okay? And you have to make sure it's watered. You have to make sure it's getting the right sunlight. You have to watch it. Okay? It never stops. And this is what a man with no kids has to deal with, dealing with a single mother. Okay? Now, she put in time. She sacrificed herself to make sure you had a good life. This is what few single mothers are willing to do, period. Okay, and then they want a man around. No. Okay, he's not getting a lot of this, the other side of the equation. All right, what single men with no kids would have to deal with. And he's caping for these women, not understanding that. Let me give a comic book reference. It's going to be a little easier. All right, there's this comic book talking about the crime syndicate, right? Now, the thing is, they're, they police this corrupt world, okay? Now, here comes the Justice League, all right? They come in and they try to save the day. Now, what they slowly find out, the Justice League slowly finds out that the people that they're trying to save don't want order. They don't want justice. They just want to call people whenever they want, and the people are really evil. This is what is trying to get here to understand. The people, the single mothers who call on Kevin Samuel's show, they don't really want advice. They want to be their ego stroked. They want to be told they're right. They want to be felt sorry for. And when, they feel that, it's not what they want, they feel attacked, they'll try to call on the Justice League, okay? Because they feel the big bad Kevin Samuels and other men in the manosphere saying not to date single mothers is wrong. They look at them as evil. They look at them as the crime syndicate. They're committing crimes. And in reality, they're the criminals, okay, who want to bully and shame men into dating single mothers. When in reality, some of these single mothers are not fit to date men. They're too selfish to have partners, okay? Now, I will say this. I don't agree with a lot of the things in the manosphere when it comes to like, okay, don't date single mothers, but still sleep with them. That's wrong. All right, let's keep going.
Making me read books before I went to bed. And not only making me read it, but make me explain what the book was talking about. The reason I can write, the reason I can speak well today, the reason I am everything I am today is not because the goodness of Daniel. It's because I had a single mother who never gave up on me. And here is where the praise report comes, ladies. My mom is married now, and she's happy. She's married to a man her age. My mom just turned 66 on Sunday. It was her birthday while she was sick. But she's raised a son and she's married. Why do I say all that to you? Because some of you have 2, 3, 4, 5-year-old kids right now. And you're wondering if you're going to be able to find a man. You're wondering if on your own, are you going to be able to make ends meet? And I'm here to tell you as an example of someone who never went hungry, of someone who always had clothes on his back, of someone who always had a place to live. You can get it done. I don't care how it feels today. This is an example that a single mother can raise a child. And on top of that, you deserve a great man. Now, you may have to date differently than single women. In my next video.
Here's the problem. A lot of single mothers don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Okay? All right? Now, I commend you for taking care of your mom, as you should, Now, what I'm trying to tell you is the fact that a lot of them are not going to hear you, because when you say these things, because you do come off kind of with a balanced view, but you really don't understand really what's going on with these single mothers. Okay? You don't. You really don't. Okay? Because you're not coming off with the Jared, let's just say you would blow up if you had the Derek Jackson vibe. You would, because that's what they want to hear. They want to hear they're never wrong. They want to hear they have a right to a man, even though their situation and their mentality says otherwise. He's not looking at this with a balanced view. That's the problem.
I'll talk specifically about the type of men a single woman should look for. You don't necessarily have to go just be with a single dad. There are men out here, me included, that have no problem dating a single mother. In fact, I have high respect for a woman when I see her children and they're well behaved, got good manners, well spoken. That tells me something about this woman. It tells me that there's some substance in this woman. Because in order for there to be substance in the child, there first had to be substance in the woman. You may have made a mistake. You may have had sex with the wrong person. Do not beat yourself up for that. Your child is a blessing. And let me tell you how much of a blessing your child is. Yes, my mom is married. But because my mom put so much time into me growing up, I am now in a position to help take care of her financially, but also when she's sick. I can take off work and I can come be there at my mother's bedside for her. And it's a direct result of the time she put into me. So I do want to leave that one message there. Ladies, put time into your kids. I'm not saying you don't, but just make sure you continue to do that, because these are the people who will take care of you when you get older. A man could come into your life and be gone in a couple years, your children are always going to be there. And when you're sitting at Spelman, when you're sitting at Morehouse, when you're sitting at Harvard, Stanford, University of Maryland, PG Community College, it really won't matter. And you get to see your child that you had to struggle with walk across that stage. It'll feel better than any man being a part of your life because you did that. And you should clap for yourself. So I'm not saying don't listen to Kevin Samuels. And I tagged some other men in this video as well who have things to say about single mothers. I'm not here to bash them. I'm just here to give a different perspective. There are a lot of men out here who would have no problem dating a single mother who does a great job taking care of their children. I have dated several, but because I was an F-boy, I stepped away from them because I knew at that time in my life, I was not ready for that type of responsibility. There's a big difference between that and between men making you feel bad because they don't measure up. If anyone's
making you feel bad, wait a minute. How's it making you feel? Sometimes the truth has to be harsh. I mean, there's men who are harsh with, men messing up with women, and it's praise. But when you give that same energy to a woman who's messing up, refuses to change, wants unrealistic standards for having a man, yet she's horrible herself and doesn't feel like she should give anything to the relationship, and you give that same energy to that woman that you have to shape up. You can't be this way. All of a sudden it's wrong. It's called abuse. It's called verbal abuse. Do you see the one-sidedness of this? And this is feminism. This is feminism. Okay? This is what's making dating hard. Okay? Have you even looked into the stories of men who have dated single mothers, have lost property? Okay? 401ks from being with a single mother in a relationship and marriage? I mean, what about that? What about that? Has he looked into that? Because I don't think he does. He's just looking at it from, okay, a single mother raised me. Fine. She put time into you. Fine. But a lot of these women don't feel that same way. They have to do all that. A lot of these same women don't feel they have to wait until their son is a grown man to start dating. What about that? Did you even talk about those types of women? What? I don't know what to tell you, man, because this is off the rails. It just is. It's really off the rails. All right. But let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, comment, and subscribe later.